is Janai and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be reacting to Yuta's debut mini album, Depth, and I am just very excited for this. If you saw my music video reaction, if you didn't, please go check it out. But if you saw that, then you already know Yuta is like my old bias, and I just absolutely loved Off the Mask. That video was amazing, and so in this reaction, I'm going to be reacting or listening to all of the songs on the album except for Off the Mask, just because I've heard it a few times already, but just know it was amazing. Obviously, it was so good. And one thing I had mentioned in that video was that I really hoped that some of his lyric writing was present in these songs, because I know that is something he's been working on in his songwriting. And sure enough, when I went and listened to his radio show, Yuta at Home, where he was talking about the album and the whole process of making it, it turns out, yes, thankfully, a lot of the lyrics were written by him for most of the songs, I think. And also, I think he even had a part in some of the like production and the composing and things like that. And it really shows. I mean, if the rest of the album is anything like Off the Mask was, then it really is going to just be so representative of him. Like Off the Mask, you could just tell it came from him. No one else made, those lyrics, or not, at least not all of them, or had that vision. It was really from his creative mind, and he just really showed us the person that has been kind of held back a lot for so long. There's certain restrictions and things he has to do as a member of NCT. And even though I love the work he does with NCT, it's really great that he was able to showcase himself as a soloist in the way he wanted to. So I am really excited and very curious about what he's going to show of himself in the rest of these songs. And I'm very excited and curious for what they're going to sound like, because I know there's a heavy rock influence, and that's something that he really enjoys these days. But if I'm not mistaken, there's also going to be, I think, other genres in it as well, like maybe even a ballad or something. And I love Yuta's voice in all kinds of ways. It's very diverse and it's very versatile. If you looked at my MV reaction, I mentioned how in NCT songs he has a very beautiful, melodic, oftentimes soothing voice. But in like Off the Mask, for example, you got to see that other side of his voice, that really forceful, powerful, guttural kind of sounds that he can make and that he's been really practicing to get prepared for these rock songs. So without further ado, I'm going to start with Last Song. Now I'm using lyric videos just to get a sense of what the lyrics are, but I understand they may not be 100% accurate in terms of translations, but we're just gonna deal with that. So here we go. Already, this is not what I expected. This piano. Oh. I'm already getting emotional. He hasn't even sung yet. The Japanese guys. I'm so used to hearing him sing in Korean. I love how he's extending the notes. Did you hear the break in his voice? So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Oh, the build up. Just now it was so minimalist and it really felt the emotion in his voice. it's building. His voice is so beautiful right now. Oh. Oh yes. Yes, The Rock. It actually came in. I didn't expect it. Why is he singing the English so well? Oh my gosh. I love that. Now it's stripped back again. That with the piano and that almost whispery, very low tone. Oh, very emotional. Oh, it's already over. No, no, no. Okay, well, that was everything. I did not expect that to be, because this is I'm going in order, right? This is the first song on the album, and it's like, it was just so different than Off the Mask already. And it's such a, like, he didn't build up to the emotion at all. Like, he started with, like, this very emotional and powerful, haunting sound. It was so beautiful. It was such a nice listen, but I really, like, you can really hear just how amazing his voice is, how he's able to carry a note and extend it and hold it for a long time, and how his voice would seamlessly go from, like, very soft and, you know, kind of almost like a narration. Sometimes it was almost like he was speak singing, especially in those parts where, like, the instrumentation was very stripped back, and so it really, like, you were really hearing his voice almost like it gave a very lonely vibe, like a very contemplative, reflective vibe. And so in those parts, he would go seamlessly from that and then build up to, like, this very powerful, emotional voice. And I just love how seamlessly he did that. And sometimes he would also, like, do this vibrato at the end of his lines, and that was really beautiful. It just, this is more of the tone I'm a little bit more used to. Like in NCT songs, like I mentioned, his voice is very beautiful and melodic, but even with this being a slower paced song, it was still a lot more powerful than I'm used to hearing in NCT songs, and so I really liked that. Also, I loved when it became more rock sounding with the instrumentation in the chorus, and the lyrics were very beautiful. I think it's a really appropriate start to the album, because he's talking about, kind of, if I'm getting the gist of it, like that he can do anything and he could go through any hardships because he's not alone. And he has said on his radio show that this album is very much like kind of reflecting the journey he's been on to get to this point in his career. And in the beginning, that's how it was, right? It's really just, it was all the group, right? It was all his members, his fans. Those are the people that held him through the hard times. Even if you go way back to, like, trainee days, you know, before he really established himself and found his own individual sound, it was really his group that was holding him up. And I feel like that's what that was talking about. And so it's a great and appropriate start to the album and to his journey. So that was fantastic. Let us go on to the next one. Save You. I'm sorry, why am I thinking of that NCT song they did for, I forget what it was, but it was more like an advertisement, product placement song. But you know that song, Saving You, Saving Me? It's been a long time. And if you ever go back and look at that Saving You, whatever that video was, that music video, Yuta was looking amazing there too. He had an iconic look going for him. But anyway, let's get into it. Oh, what anime theme song is this? That guitar already. Oh, yes. Why am I acting like I know this already? It's just so catchy already. It's giving me anime theme songs, epic vibes. Oh. I love the instrumentation here. It's pumping me up. Oh, I love when he does that scratchy growling. Right there. So hard. Oh, Yuta has such a unique tone. I can't even really properly describe the tone of his voice. But it's very unique. Oh, look how effortlessly he went up like that. I like how his voice even sounds darker, you know, more intense when he's talking about the darkness in his mind. Oh, yes. That hits so hard with the percussion. Oh, I love this chorus. His voice sounds so good. And then it goes up, so delicate, so beautiful. Oh. I love how it's picking up. He's still going. Oh. Oh my gosh, do you hear that? I love this guitar section. Oh, nice with the scream at the end. Woo! Amazing. That was everything. It was so epic sounding, and yet still, it had such an emotional theme. I loved the structure of the song. It was only my first listen, so it's hard to really remember everything, but I do know the structure was very nice. I liked how it started, almost like an anime theme song. It got me really pumped up. But then his voice, like in the verses in particular, very melodic, very nice, and then it would pick up again in that rock sound. And I really think that he held his notes and extended them for a long time, and he really showed like the power of his voice and his stamina, which was great. And I also really liked I believe it was the bridge, right? Right before the final chorus, that was my favorite part. It was so good. And the theme of the song was interesting because he was talking about trading places and saving someone. And I'm not 100% sure he was talking about someone else. It almost sounded like he was kind of sending a message to himself. I think it might have I could be wrong because, you know, these things are open to interpretation. But it kind of gave me like almost a similar vibe in terms of the theme for Off the Mask. Like Off the Mask is about kind of releasing your true self, the self that has been kind of repressed or hidden for a while that people don't know about. And this kind of felt to me like he's kind of putting a part of himself behind, or kind of leaving that part of himself that maybe people have been used to. And that maybe represented him at one time, but now he's a different person, right? He's grown, like I said, if you compare it to the first song he sang, going along his journey, now he's more finding himself, he's figuring out his own individual style, what he wants to show to the world when he gets a chance to, you know, be solo, for example. and he is trading in that old self that was maybe more group focused and kind of was following the style that he was given and so forth, and now he's really showing this new Yuta, kind of like being reborn. So I really like the theme of that, and it was just super catchy. Like, that was such a fun song. So far everything is just hitting it out of the park. And now we have Bad Euphoria. That's an interesting title already. So let's see what this is giving. Oh, already. This is very Avril Lavigne kind of. It's reminding me of Avril Lavigne. For some reason, this instrumentation, this guitar and this percussion, but I really like it. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is such an interesting style of singing he's doing. And this chorus is completely different. He really changed it up. It's so nice. Oh, this is such a fun song too. Hey. I love how rich and full his voice sounds here. And this is like that growling narration. This is really interesting. And then it goes high like this, and it becomes more melodic. Again with the mask theme. Ooh. Oh, do you hear these backing vocals? They are amazing. And I love how the drum is picking up again. Ooh. Woo. Oh, I love the combination of that dark sound with that like nice high sound. There's two different tones going on at the same time, and it's really nice. It's really cool. Oh, woo. They are not skimping on these endings, right? Even though his voice fades out, they're still doing something cool with the guitar at the end. This is another great song. I really enjoyed it. This was a really fun, like more of a like groovy, chill type of song. I mean, it's interesting because even though every song so far has had these rock elements in it, he's doing rock in such different ways, and he's adding these interesting elements to it so that it's not boring and it doesn't sound the same at all. So I really think that's cool. Many things stood out to me. I think what stood out to me the most and what I really loved about that song is the two different kind of tones he was using. He was doing that kind of growling, lower tone, sometimes feeling almost like narration singing type of voice, but he would mix it with like his higher, sweeter, more full melodic voice. Sometimes it would be almost at the same time, like one would be the backing vocals while he was singing the main part. And I really liked that. It made for such a dynamic song. And it's cool because it matches the theme so well. Like everything so far has seemed very intentional in terms of the placement of the songs on the album, the order they're in, and how they reflect the journey he was talking about. Because if you think about it, Bad Euphoria, right? Bad sounds like that darker tone he was using. Euphoria sounds like when he would get higher and he would get sweeter and go like that, right? And so I think this song was kind of talking about, again, it's similar to like Off the Mask. He's been referring to the mask a lot, right? Revealing his true self. And I think in here, it's kind of now starting to talk about him embracing his self, even though it's kind of maybe darker or a little, it could be abrasive to some people. It might, he might not be for everybody. And he's completely okay with that. I think that's what he's trying to say. He's like, you don't have to love me, but you best believe you will notice me. When I show you myself, I'm going to break the mold, and you're not going to forget me. If nothing else, you're going to remember who I am, because I'm unique and no one could do this style like me. And that's exactly true. You know what I mean? If you think about all of the solos so far that have come out of NCT, particularly 1 to 7, because that's my old group, so I follow them a lot. And you know, we've had things from Mark, Jaehyun, Doyoung, and I know there's others, Taeyong, and I could be forgetting people, so don't come for me. But my point is that even though all those solos were amazing, Yuta, like, he really, really stands out because he has such a different type of sound that he gravitates to and that he could pull off. Like, who else, forget just NCT, who else in K-pop is really doing a sound like this consistently, right? And it is kind of dark, right? And not in a bad way, but like, it's not something for everyone. Like, it can be very grungy, could be very raw, and you know, it's a little dark. That's the only way I could really describe it. But I love that about him, and he's saying like, I love that about me too, is what I feel like he's talking about. And so this is just, I'm really, really enjoying this. I am loving just how he's really like, you know, representing this theme and this journey so well. Okay, so next we have Prisoner. Now that's interesting because we've been talking so much about breaking free and, you know, kind of like breaking free of these like chains and these, you know, these restrictions people want to place on us and showing who we really are. And now it's like, Prisoner, it's like, are we going back into that? Has some obstacle come in the way of our self-expression? We'll see. This sound is very different already. It's more electronic sounding. We've had a lot of beautiful, like, raw instruments. Oh. Oh, wow. Oh, this is really nice. This is more pop rock sounding. Oh. Interesting lyrics. Oh, this is interesting. He completely switched up the sound just then. Oh my gosh, these lyrics. Oh, I love this drum section here. They're really standing out to me. This chorus is a lot of fun. I really like it. It's funny because the theme is kind of, you know, it's a little melancholy, a little gloomy, but the song is so upbeat. And this is so nice. This is by far, I would think, the most easy to like maybe present to the general public, most mainstream kind of sound, but I really like it. His voice, set me free. You can really hear the emotion in his voice. Oh, I love this post-chorus, this outro. Okay. I just wish all the songs would last longer. That's always my thing. Okay, now, this is kind of exactly what I thought in terms of theme, or what I suspected. One thing I'm starting to notice about myself, you guys, is that it is really hard for me to make commentary on these songs because it definitely takes a few listens for me to process them. But also, if I'm going to focus on lyrics, then I really got to focus on them, because I'm someone, and I've done an album reaction before on this channel, and there I did mention this. I'm someone who really is hit by the music and focuses on that first, and I get very overwhelmed by that. And so this is a first for me to really try to pay attention to the lyrics. So I apologize if I'm not saying much during the actual playing of the song, but hopefully you kind of appreciate that, because you could hear it, for yourself pretty well, not interrupting too much. But all that being said, so the theme, right, Prisoner, I think I was on the right track. So he's at the part of his journey where he's fully embracing himself. He's trying to not only embrace himself, but show the world himself. But it seems like everyone was not on board with the darkness, not on board with how raw he is. There's certain people out there who maybe want to just have him be the old Yuta that they're used to, right? The one who's just an NCT, who, has a very different style, who isn't coming forth in such a, kind of almost a shocking way to some people. And so it seems like, this is kind of talking about just people who maybe don't like him, or like blatantly do not like him and are trying to stop him, or people that just don't get him. And, kind of want to just, maybe they're hoping for someone else. Maybe they're hoping for the person he was behind the mask, right? And so they're kind of getting in his way, or making him contemplate whether this is the right direction for him to go in. Whether he should lean into this new self, or he should just kind of stay in the lane he was before and just have things be relaxed. But I think he was talking about too how, this is who I am and I can't repress this person, right? So like it or not, you're going to have to deal with it, because this is the real me, right? And the people who really appreciate me will stick with me, right? Those are the kind of people who are going to really love what I'm doing. And that's definitely true. I feel like even if I wasn't someone who is super into rock, I can't knock this. I could never hate this, because this is absolutely who he is. And that is very apparent in this entire project. And so I really appreciate just the attention to the lyrics, and just he's really putting himself out there, and I really love that. And this album is just going by too fast. Goodbye, don't say goodbye. I know that's not the last one. Okay, let us go. Oh, I like whatever this is added to the guitar. I'm loving so much of this real instruments they're using. So little of this is like electronic or very produced. I love it goes so well with his raw vocals, I love this. Oh my gosh, not the violin. He definitely sounds very emotional in this song. He does such a good job of conveying the mood and the tone of a song, right? He really brings the lyrics to life with the way he sings, his style. I love when he does the English lines. Oh, I love when he adds that sharp, that growling kind of guttural sound. Oh, it comes unexpectedly. So nice. Oh, he is sounding so beautiful. The violin. Do you hear him in the back? Wow, that was so beautiful. They've all been hitting these songs, you know, they've really been like getting me in the feels, but this one I think has been the most emotional by far. And it was also the most kind of sad, melancholy type of feel. And his voice, like I said, he does such a good job of conveying the tone and the mood of a song by the way he sings. And again, even though there was the same rock elements, like I love how the guitar and the drums have been so consistent throughout these songs, but like they added the violins this time. Anytime you add a violin, it's just gonna like, oh, it almost makes you want to tear up. It's just such a, I don't know why that instrument can make something sound so sad but so beautiful. And that sounds kind of like what the theme of the song was like. Like he's saying goodbye, and it's sad, but also it's like necessary, and he doesn't want it to be just, you know, sad. It's like a beautiful parting. You know what I mean? Now, in terms of what he's saying goodbye to, I have a couple of interpretations. He could be saying goodbye to like maybe someone who's been along on the journey with him, like an actual person who's like been there for him, supported him, but they see the direction he's going in. Maybe they don't want to follow him in that direction, or maybe they're like, you are at the point where you could be on your own now. You don't need me like you did anymore. You found yourself, you know what you want, and you know how to get it. And so that person is kind of maybe stepping away so that they could really let him be who he needs to be and walk this path on his own, right? That could be one interpretation. The other, it could just be going along with the theme of like him saying goodbye to his former self, you know, and it really sounds like it's not that, like he'll always remember that part of himself or that person fondly. You know what I mean? It's not like a, oh, I can't wait to be rid of you type of thing. You know what I mean? And so it could represent that part of himself as well. Like, you know, just younger Yuta, we change with time and age. And it's just like, you know, I'm a different person now, but I will never forget you because you got me to where I am. And you were part of the journey. And if I didn't go through these things, I couldn't be the person I am today, right? So it's just... I just can't, I know I keep repeating myself like a broken record, but like it's such a conceptual album, and it's just the journey. Like I am really loving how well thought out this is. Okay, so already we're on to the last song, you guys. Butterfly, like a butterfly. This is all we really got in terms of a Yuta solo, right? I mean, I know he's done covers and stuff, but that's all we had to live off of until today. Well, until this project came out. But this is the dub version. So he has rearranged this, and I believe he did it so that it would really fit the theme of this album. And people have always been wanting him to, like, make the song longer. You know, what would it be like with a second verse and, you know, like a bridge and everything. And so I believe he's giving that to us right now. I'm very interested to see how he has reworked this song, but also how he's ending the album. I'm a little sad about it. I don't want to say goodbye just like that last song. I know I have to, but I don't want to. Oh, the emo, emotional rock. Is that redundant? That might be redundant, right? Emo and emotional? I apologize. Oh. Yes. Just wanna cry. Oh, yes. I love it already. I'm in it. Oh, yes. I love this version. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yuta, stop. He is doing so much with his voice in this one song. He has done so many different tones already. This is a roller coaster. Oh my gosh, this is hitting. No! Oh. Oh my god. No! No. Even though I guess he sort of extended the song, that ended too early. Why was that so good? Oh my gosh. That version was everything. I already liked the original version of the song. I saw it in concert too, in person, and it was beautiful. It was. But this, that really suited it. That rock sound really suited it. And his voice was so dynamic. Like, it changed different tones and pitches and cadence so many times in that song. It was like guttural and dark and, you know, grungy, but then it would be sweet and beautiful, and sometimes it would go super high and delicate, and some of that was like a butterfly, but also like some of this was really like it was really powerful, and that didn't really remind me of a butterfly, but it was a really good ending, right? It fit perfectly to end this whole journey, this whole, like, you know, this just all of the songs have been leading up to this moment, and it's basically, you know, we've already heard the song, so we kind of know the theme of these lyrics. But yeah, he's just basically saying, you know, now I'm going to spread my wings and fly and, you know, be who I am, right? And things might knock me down. Things will always come in my way. That's what life is like, right? There's always going to be obstacles and things like that, but he's always going to come back up and soar like a butterfly. Oh my gosh. This is so good. Every single song was amazing. There was not one song in this album that I did not like and do not want to listen to again. And I liked everything about it, but I guess if I want to sum up the things that I loved, number one, Yuta's voice, it was amazing. Number two, the theme, how it was such a thematic album, how it really represented him and his journey exactly like he said it did, and how intentional and well thought out that this whole album was, and how he just poured himself into this so much. And I loved also just the theme in that it was rock the whole way through. Yes, there were many different sounds. It didn't sound the same. Like some of the rock and roll was more grittier and hard, and maybe leaning towards more of that like metal, harsher sound. But then some of it was like pop rock and fun. Some of it reminded me of like Japanese anime themes. And then some of it was very emo rock style and beautiful. And so, but all throughout, it was like very consistent in terms of the sound. Nothing felt out of place at all. And I love, like, we don't get a lot of this in K-pop, you know, this like real instruments. We just, you know, and the sounds that come out of K-pop are amazing. Like 127 has a lot of like really produced sounds, and a lot of it is like electronic based, and it still sounds great. But when you get an album like this, where it, for the most part, it's like the real instruments, the real guitar, the bass, the drums, like you really appreciate that. You remember how good that sounds. And with Yuta being so raw and unfiltered, and with his voice just like from the depths, like, you know, when he's doing that screaming and everything, it goes so well with the real instruments. So anyway, this was a 10 out of 10. I'm just so happy that this finally came out. I've been waiting for this for ages, and I'm going to replay the heck out of this, and I know it'll be a while, but I'm already waiting for the next thing. Like, you're not going to tell me that this is it. Like, there has to be something at some point again, but I need another project from him, because all he did was make me want more, because he's amazing, and he's just like, you could tell he just has so much to share with us, right? I feel like this is only the beginning for him, but what a strong start it was. Anyway, please let me know your thoughts. I would really be curious. Tell me what you like. Tell me your impressions. Have you been waiting for this as long as I have? And please like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.